Hey guys, how's everybody?
Good.
Good. A lot of familiar names. Thanks for joining us.
There you go. Judge, hey, Judge, Pam,
Yeah.
Russell, Jennifer, nice. Dave. Thank you all for joining us.
Hey Elise, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
Good. How's the weather where you are?
Raining,
It's probably coming our way.
probably. Yeah, is it hot? I don't know. I think today's kind of icky, but weekend's looking good.
Yeah, we had a terrible storm come through yesterday. Was it yesterday, guys? Down trees and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, and we shipped our daughters off and one of their best friends to go see an outdoor concert at the baseball stadium in DC. And
oh,
so what do you get? A tornado warning for DC, which happens never. So
oh. Were they okay?
they had a great time. Of course, they had a great time. They're teenagers. Nothing affects them.
True.
We got Steven. So shall we kick it off?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Cool.
So yeah, I had a request to email the link. Which I can go ahead and do, guys. So yeah.
Okay, so we decided to we'll do this a little backwards from the get. Decided to try and push my business to my retail business to $3 million in the next 18 months. Essentially end of next year. I want to be at the 2.9 to 3.1 million dollar mark, even though we're coming into an election year. So I was talking about that as a real goal with my team, and Audra said that would be a perfect topic for discussion. And then you can start practicing what you preach. And I said, okay, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a quick rundown of the Blind Shade and Shutter Company and our 23 years in business and how we started and where we're going and what our goal is in the next 14 months, 15 months to get us up to the $3 million mark. And I hope there's some value in it for you guys. 23 years ago. Let's see if we could ask Joe to mute his. Thank you, Joe. So 23 years ago, I started the Blind Shade and Shutter Company. I was a one-man band. This little van on the left-hand side was my office and my showroom and my warehouse. I was actually living in a condo in Arlington with 780 square feet. So I didn't even have a garage to put it in. Started down there, and I was a one-man operator, selling and installing, like I said, out of the back of a used Astra van with 350,000 miles on it. We'll start with the real basics. The key that we found to rapid growth in the first few years, and if anybody out there has got a startup business or a couple of years in, the key that we found to building fast and in a sustainable way was location, and not of where I was living or working out of, but where we did our primary marketing. So I had a very good friend named George. And George is still in the construction industry. He's managing a huge construction firm now, but back then we were just younger guys. And he said, "You got to go to Loudoun County. That's where everything's going to be happening in the next 20 years." I didn't know where Loudoun County was, but he was good enough to explain to me that was going to be the fastest growth market around it. It was about 40 minutes from my home, so it was quite a commute. But I endeavored to check it out, and I went out, and it was cow pastures and new building. And back then, 23 years ago, you could buy what would be a $800,000 house now in the DC region, which was a regular average house. But then you could get it for $350,000, and that kind of sets the tone for the market I was working in. So after the first year in business, we did the first 4 months in business, I did about $300,000. And the next year I bumped up to about $800,000. And to do that with no established identity in the marketplace, I did the guerrilla stuff. I did the basic stuff that we should all still be doing. We flyer still to this day, but we flyer using door hangers. We use yard signs, and we use what's called the 5-finger system, where you take every appointment you go on, or your salespeople or your installers go on. You flyer the house to the left and the right that you're in, and then the 3 across the street. And that has built for us over the years a reserve of customers who know who we are. And we've gotten to the point in some neighborhoods where we've done, entire half blocks. And you guys have all done the same things. Those of you that are established, you've done the same stuff, and you know what works in your marketplaces, and you don't know, and you know what doesn't work. We did, after the second year in business, when we hit about 800,000 sales, we opened a retail store in a strip mall, and we aligned ourselves with Hunter Douglas. And feel one way or the other about Hunter Douglas. I understand that nowadays, but back then it was a good decision for us to make. And we became a gallery dealer, and that bought us a little bit of cachet in a marketplace where we were not established.
Right.
And then a year after that, we were at $1.2 million in sales. And this article was done about us. They called it Jumpstart, how to go from 0 sales to, $1.2 million in 3 years. That's not a bad start. That's not, this is, that's 20 years ago now that we hit that $1.2 million benchmark. And it was the systems, aggressive advertising, consistent sales plan, target marketing, and I mean that more geographically than anything else at this point. Even if you're talking about digitally, which we'll get into, over and over and over again, I've had people ask me, how did you have such success early on? I thought small and in geographic regions, and I picked neighborhoods, and we wore them out. We would flyer them on a 3-week cycle, so they'd hear from us and hear from us and hear from us. And if you do that 3 or 4 sets of flyers in a neighborhood over a number of weeks, 12 weeks, you get a really solid response. You can't hit them with one and done, because like everything else in life, it's timing when they finally open their mind up to thinking about what they need. If it's prior to their move-in, you get lucky and they get a flyer. If it's after their move-in and they've thrown away 2 of your 3 flyers, but finally they're ready to buy some blinds because they're tired of seeing their neighbors through the windows. It really,
Hey, Brian,
yeah.
it's Elise. I have a quick question.
Sure.
When you're talking about that, so were you just hand delivering those flyers, or how are you sending them through, or hand writing them through and putting a stamp on it?
No, I was just doing door hangers and yard signs back then. And after I had been in business 2 years, I was doing newspaper advertisement and yellow pages.
Okay.
But the door hangers were the thing that got me kicked off the ground. They were excellent looking, and I'm not saying I didn't design or print them or anything, but it was just a really good artist that we got lucky to know. But nowadays you can get good art cheap, super cheap, 99 designs where you can get something done for $100.
Yeah.
And we'll try and hit all the questions at the Q&A. So write them down for yourself.
Okay.
Then we'll have a Q&A session at the end. So we'll kind of keep the ball moving, because this is just the basics. From 1 million to the 2 million mark was all based out of geography, being Leesburg, Virginia, which is the wealthiest county. It's a city in a wealthiest county in the country. It goes back and forth between Fairfax and us. So we got very lucky there, and I understand that completely. And then what was really the big thing there was we didn't have any small competition to compete with. We took and owned the marketplace very quickly. And then we had competition coming after the fact. We were already well established after our 3rd year, and we seemed like we were everywhere, because all of our vehicles at that point had logos on them, and all of our people wore logo shirts, and the installers had hats that were logoed. It was it's nothing special. It's just a combination of all these basic things that has really paid off. And I've done research and found that, even with
gallery thing and the area that you're in,
even with the vans, you can spend a fortune getting them done, or you can get vinyl lettering. the big thing is your logo and your phone number and your website. That's what needs to be on there. It needs to be clear what you're doing. So anyways, from $1 to $2 million. We grew in a period of about 6 years to $1.8 million. That was after that 2004 article was written about us, 2005 article was written about 2004. But from day one, I focused on technology as a way to leverage utility to be more efficient. And I aggressively trained my people. So we worked towards training folks, getting them up to speed, and using from Excel spreadsheets to software, to custom software, to now MyBlindCo, of course, to get them to the point where they were so well trained that when they were in the home, they made an appearance and they had, like I said, logo shirt, technically well trained. They had a laptop. They were producing a quote in the home, which, as we know, is a 27% higher close ratio than when you email someone a quote or mail them a quote after the fact. We used to carry around little printers, and it was people were blown away by the utility of that. So Audrey, you're going to jump in here and talk about that one thing from the article that we're looking at here.
Yeah, I was just, after reading this, I was like, oh, wow, right from the beginning, you're so big on the efficiency, and back then it was just Excel, but you talked about training a little bit, but it's the consistent presence, the training, having the Excel, be able to present a professional quote right then and there. You're building a brand that says very professional, you're knowledgeable, and that you're able to instill confidence in your consumer. And you started with just yourself, but as each salesperson that you added, you were able to replicate that and ensured that those salespeople had the same consistent presence in front of you, the customers, and I think that's taking that time to train, equip them with the appropriate processes. It just makes them much more confident in the home. Customers are more confident in the company. And I think it was just interesting how, we see that now, but then right from the beginning, you laid the foundation for that premise, basically.
Can you read the excerpt from the article? Is it
Okay.
handy?
Yeah. Is it right? Yeah. It's right here on the screen,
Oh,
actually.
no,
Yeah.
the one before where we were talking about I think it was just previous to this.
Okay. Let's see here.
So I'm going to jump back in real quick. Most important thing that I've learned over the years, and this is things that you all know and probably do well, but research, research to market your products, pick your products. Obviously I'm a 100 guy. I sell Norman. I sell Alta now. Very much happy with that product, by the by. But training and product knowledge for my staff, we spend a day a week, 3 hours a week, realistically talking on product knowledge. Every chance we get with something new, you add some new product line, and we'll spend 3 hours every Monday. We have a sales and staff meeting, and I put the time into training. Maybe it's every other week if I don't have anything new, but I always go over the very basic stuff, and it seems to pay off. And again, you guys have got your own processes and things that you've been doing, but when you bring new people on and you bring staff on, if you got something established that's just routine, they fall right into that, and it makes them feel so much more confident that they can get more out of it and become more efficient quickly. If you give me the next slide, Abby. So here's where we kind of make our pivot from the old school guerrilla marketing, flyering, oh God help me, newspapers and yellow pages. And by the way, I'm a person that has spent $70,000 with yellow pages in the past, and nowadays that seems incredibly crazy to me, because that sort of money spent on Google would be a huge amount of advertising. But anyways, when I first got started, I did go with Hunter Douglas and I took their manufacturer website, and it was not the best play for a business. We probably would have been better off by far had we spent the time and energy to develop a website 10 years ago that we had, long standing history with, but we just went ahead and used the manufacturer provided website. And if any of you guys are doing that currently, I am going to tell you, after doing a bunch of research and finding out the hard way for myself, that is not where you want to hinge yourself to. You want to be using a standalone website. It's very cost effective to get them done now. But really what I found is, as soon as we broke, Abby, for those of you who know her, built a website for us that is something we're replicating for other customers. And as soon as we broke from Hunter Douglas, and we put other products on there, the Norman product, Lutron, we started getting leads from those, not manufacturers directly, but leads through our presence on search engines through Google for Lutron job here, a Norman shutter job there, and you can track it. It's easy to track the way we use our software, but you can track it on paper. It doesn't matter. But always track, by the way, always track your lead source. You want to know where you're spending your money and you're getting your returns. But the transition to digital marketing that we've made in the last 24 months, before we brought all this stuff on as a product offering from MyBlindCo, has really started to pay off. And we are noticing a downturn in business. Don't get me wrong. Any of you that are not, God bless you. But I think we'd be off by 30 or 40% right now, and we're down about 10%, maybe 15. So, and it's because I'm getting calls that I know I wasn't getting 2 years ago, 18 months, and even 12 months ago, because of what we're doing with Google marketing. So, and with that, I think I'm going to be able to leverage that and build the marketplace and get to that next level. And that's something I'll be reporting on. This is not a one and done. I'm going to show people, our progress on this, and hopefully use this as a benchmarking tool for other folks to look at what we're doing for people in the window covering industry, so that they can see, okay, here's a real company doing the real things. And I'm trying to do it literally as cheaply as possible. So Audrey, was that you? Oh no, someone else. Okay. So one final hit on this is building your brand. Make sure you build your brand, have your logos on your shirts, your cups, your vans, your yard signs. And anyways, controlling your SEO. This is our education being passed to you guys. To control your SEO, you just basically need to make sure you have a decent tool that is very cost effective, so you can look at your SEO, your search engine optimization, and know where you're showing up. You can get some good tools for $50 or $75 a month. You can obviously work with us, and then if you're working with us, we're going to help you decrease your load speed, eliminate bad links, and increase backlinks. Understand and increase the useful keywords. What is it a keyword? It took me almost a year to figure out the value of keywords and how they actually affect your site and how that they're used now. You can no longer just load them as meta tags. You have to have them pulled as live text from a blog or an article or a web page, and you have to optimize your web page for word count. So typical, and Abby, you can check me on this, but it's 900 words per page. Is that the optimal number now?
Yeah, not too long ago it was 400, but it's just increased.
Yeah, so it's and that means if your website's 3 years old and you think it's doing okay, you can do a word count with you can take a look at it and breeze through a page or two. Google wants you to be at 900 words a page. So if you need to increase your I'm not saying if, you do need to increase your number of keywords. The best way to do that is writing a blog twice a week. Use ChatGPT, give it a prompt, put 3 photographs in the blog, and utilize the tools that are out there to get those backlinks. A backlink is a link but to get a backlink, you link to your manufacturers, your Hunters, your Altas, your Grabers. You just put a link in there to a product that you spoke about in your article, and you just put a link in there. That's an outbound link. Typically, you'll get a return link if you do enough of that sort of stuff. And you can also request them from your manufacturers and say, can you please give me a backlink? The more backlinks you have on your site, that's the real power of SEO nowadays, is if you can increase your keywords through blogs and the number of backlinks you have. Those are the two key elements that we've found that have taken our site that Abby brought online in January from a really terrible score up to about a middle of the marketplace. And by the end of the year, we'll be within the top 10% of websites in our industry, just by doing what we're doing now. So, and I mean, any of those of you who aren't using ChatGPT, or if you're reticent to write a blog, a blog with 400 words written with a prompt from ChatGPT is a 15 to 20 minute commitment. And then you have to have a couple pictures of jobs that you've done. And you should be taking pictures of every job you do anyways, good, bad, or indifferent. And then you can use the really good ones to sprinkle them into your blog. And then remember a link to, and by the way, blogs around the holidays and in the summertime, whatever, should reference local stuff that's going on. One of those a week, one of those a month, it doesn't matter. But if you link to local businesses that are having events, if you link to the local farmers market, that will pay dividends to you that I can't quite understand how that works. But if they get, we supported our local swim team because our kids are on it. And we put a link. Actually, I asked them for a link. They gave us a link, and I can tell you, we've gotten 3 jobs out of it. So for that $500 in support that we always give them, because you get a free parking space at the meets at 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays, a guaranteed parking space, I should say. That request for a backlink was given to us from the Swim Team Association, and there's 1,000 people, and then there's people that go on the site too, who are the competitors who are in our target market areas, and it has worked out by far and away exceeding my expectations. Just getting the link was good enough for me. Realizing that people have used it has been fantastic. So things like that. But just remember backlinks, keywords, and blog posts. So Abby, if you hit me up to the next one.
Could I just mention something really fast, Brian?
Absolutely.
A really easy way to backlink to yourself is if you're posting on Facebook, just include a link to your own website. LinkedIn, same thing. Really easy way to give yourself your own backlinks instead of having to ask for them, but asking for them is also great. It just proves that you're a credible website. That's really why those backlinks are so important.
And you can backlink to specific articles, or if you've got a page that is about blinds and a page that's about shades, you can give yourself a link, cyclical. You don't have to go just to the main page, correct?
Correct.
You want to kind of mix it up as much as you possibly can. Thank you for that, Abby. That's good. And I keep forgetting that. This tool, Pin Drop, that we've brought out, this is the Blind Shade and Shutter Company. That's our company, retail store. We're number 1, 2, and 3 in the marketplace that matters to me. And we started, and I think I've said this enough times that everybody's heard me. This was all red. I was embarrassed by the first map that I did, and foolishly, I didn't keep that the first heat map I did for my company, because it would be great to look at it now. This is a year ago. And we've gotten slightly better down here. I've got one heavy duty competitor right here, so I'll keep fighting him, but I've turned all the rest of this green at this point. So this was all red in a big circle, and I have my location here where I have my 1s and 2s. Now we're 1s and 2s and 3s, but as you can see here, and like I've said about this in the past, taking the photographs, posting them on Google, you'll get the benefit over time. It's a pain. If you use our software, we've eliminated a lot of the headaches, especially in the last week. For those of you who are having some trouble with it, it's much, much faster now to do this.
Hey, Brian, take a second and explain what they're looking at. Like, these numbers. This indicates where you are, your placement on the map pack or the search engine results page. So can you elaborate on that a little bit?
So absolutely. So when you search on your phone, and this is hugely important, and this is why the pivot matters, and this is kind of, and I'm sure I'm late to the game in this, but we're moving in the right direction with intent and purpose. So the map pack, the Google Map Pack, is where I think it's 74% of people do their research on their phone. And the map pack, if they're looking for a local business, if you're in position 1, 2, or 3, you show up on the first page, you search for blinds near me, and you guys can all search for blinds near you or blinds in a zip code, and you'll find the 3 companies that are most recognizable. And then people look at your reviews, and they look at your placement there. And if you're on the second page, you might get 10% of the people looking at the second page. If you're not on the first page, I personally think it's almost useless. So these numbers over here, Abby, can you move your mouse over to the red? And these numbers over here, you're on, if you see the little tiny number, it says 12, 14, 18, 20 plus. That means you're in position 20 on that map pack, which is on the 10th page or something ridiculous, or the 7th page. Whereas on the right-hand side in the green map, it's all 1s and 2s. And if you're a 1, you're the top. That's what's circled over here on the right-hand side, the blind shade and shutter company. And then 2 and 3, at 1, 2, or 3 on any chance on any one of these things is great. If your phone rings and you have someone answering it, you're the winner, because you can call all 3 of your yourself and your 2 competitors. The guy who picks up every time is going to be the winner. That is the reason that we have always had, since our 2nd year in business, we've always had an office manager. For some period of time, that was Audra, and then about 8 years ago, Stephen picked up, and he came on board full time to handle the office manager role. And we get more praise for picking up the phone on the 3rd ring from people, especially our older clients. But in the same breath, we also use text technology, SMS technology, to communicate with the younger folks, and that seems to be a new viable open pathway to develop leads and a relationship with your clients. But I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, Audrey, did I do that well enough? Do you feel like we've covered this?
Yeah, because I'll just add, Google likes to drop a pin at your business location. That's what the circle there is in the middle. So yeah, you want to be most relevant where where your office is. But our business model is not, so much in-store shopping. We go to the customer's house. So the map here is depicting that we need to be relevant in a larger service area. So if you look at the top of the screen on that Google search, blinds near me, blinds in a certain zip code, we need to be relevant in a large area where our service area, basically, which can span quite a distance. So I just want to kind of make sure everybody understands that, we need to be ranking 1, 2, 3 in our service areas. So,
and in that same breath, I've told this to people over and over and over again. They say, "Oh, I don't want to do business there." Well, if you've done business in a place that is outside of your regular service area, take a picture there, because imagine this is a string. It's a string that gets stronger as you pull it, or longer as you pull it. If you're outside of your service area, Abby, if you'd go up and just like dance your mouse around March, up higher there. So if you're off the map and you're up in the higher area, that putting a pin drop from our software, if you take a picture up there yourself and upload it to Google, it will draw everything else up below it. So it'll actually make your what is a 5 if it's an unserviced area. What's a 5 in your service area can get pushed down to a 4. What's a 4 can get pushed down to a 3. Once you get to that 3, you're on the front page. And it's believe it or not, the more frequently you do it, the 3 to 4 times a day that you should be doing it, absolutely should be doing it 3 to 4 times a day, and no more than 8. I keep forgetting to put that out there. No more than 8. Otherwise, Google thinks you're a bot and it shuts you down for 2 weeks and you hurt yourself. So stay steady. 4 to 6 is good. 7, I don't know, even 8 might be pushing it nowadays. I don't know. I got kicked off of, I got my site shut down. Sorry, folks. In last year in August, when I started doing this uploads, because I was doing 20-25 images a day. And I think after the third time at that, they shut me down thinking I was a bot. So just be wary of that. We won't let that happen to you if you're using Pindrop. But anyways, that's the gist of geolocation photography, and you know, you got to get in the weeds to make it viable, but it's a really good tool, and it really does. It has added to our business, I can say without question. And I hate this example, and I love this example. I can tell you without question, we're number 1 in the Google Map Pack because we get calls for stupid stuff that we never got calls for before. Because before, 2 years ago, we were almost 100% repeat referral, and we're doing, you know, $2 million a year is
Hi,
repeat.
this is Juana with OMDRH Design.
Getting a phone call.
Hey,
Go ahead.
can you
Mute.
mute that for us?
Yeah.
Thank you. And then that's it. So that's it for Pindrop. But just remember, start taking pictures, get them geolocated. and put
I'll
'em
just
up.
add real quick, what I love about Pindrop, it's verifiable, you know, because we always, before this, SEO was always kind of a bit of a mystery, you know, is it working for us? How do you know? You can, you know, run this tool and you'll see where your placement, and that's what says, that the whole purpose of SEO is getting at the top of the search engine results page. So you can always verify how you're doing by, you know, running a heat map and seeing your progress. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Brian.
we'll send you, you know, run a heat map for you. You'll see where you start, and then we give you monthly reporting on this stuff if you're working with us. But so here's the Blind Shade and Shutter Company's Google business profile from July. I can tell you from a year ago, all of these things were zeros. Okay, I did not have 33 calls coming in from Google. I didn't have 369 people asking for directions. I didn't have 92 unique website visits or 1,097 profile views. So all of that stuff, and I have 187 searches, which is perfectly fine. It's not good because we're down 16%, but it's July. Being down 16% and still performing at these levels is pretty solid for me. I'm happy with a July that's not, you know, in the tank. We did pretty good. So just a snippet of the real business stuff that from 12 months ago, I can tell you, I couldn't show you because I didn't save it because I didn't think it was going to be something where I'd be doing a comparison, but all of these numbers were pretty much, you know, zeros or single digits. We had a year ago, we had 27 Google reviews. A year ago, we were a 4.9 on the, you know, stars, but we didn't have enough action to get us anywhere near the front pages. So we've subsequently cleaned up our search engine optimization with lists, where we get our lists got cleaned up, and we're only showing up on search engines where we belong. We've gotten 80 some odd reviews to get us over the 100 Google review mark, I believe, at this point, and we're going to be able to do another 50 by the end of the year. So that'll be a nice increase. And then you know, we've optimized our load speed and everything else for our website, and then we're putting up a blog. I'm putting up a blog every week, trying to put up a blog every week, and then I'm going to get to 2 blogs a week in the near future. So, anyways, practicing what I preach to the best of my ability. But I'm just like the rest of you. But I'm running a business, and I'm running another business. So, okay. Well, why are Google reviews important for your business? Oh, I already hit this. Get to the top of the Google Map Pack. 74% of local searches rely on the Map Pack to guide purchasing decisions. Reviews tell a story and communicate trust and faith customers have in your business. All this is true. Again, I know it's harping. you guys can feel for my wife because I'm the same all the time. And the shtick I've been talking about was on that poster that we showed a picture of. I've been talking the same stuff for 18 years. But how to generate more reviews, ask for them. Obviously, our product 5 stars makes it easy and professional. Focusing on request to customers and have a 5-star experience. What we mean by that is when it goes well, you should absolutely send them that Google review request while you're standing in front of them. And when it goes poorly, you don't want an automation that sends them one that they get mad at you because their master bathroom shutter came in damaged and they can't believe this is happening to them. So we want your installer picking and choosing the very best customers to get your 5-star reviews from, and to help you build your business that way. And the one where it came in damaged, you want to get it after the fact where you've taken care of a job and made everything right and made them happy. So, pardon me. Incentivize your employees. Incentivize your employees to ask for reviews. What does this mean? It means bribe your employees. If they get you a 5-star review, give them some money. I don't know what the amount is. I give my guys $20 if we get a 5-star review, and they're digging that because we're getting one every 2 or 3 days, and that makes them happy. I wish it was 1 to 2 a day. It's not. It's out of 100. I think we're getting out of 100 asks. I think we're getting about 7, but that's way up from 1 out of 100. So 700% increase. Anyways, is this where we're transitioning over to Stephen? It is. Look at that. Introducing the man, the myth, the legend, Stephen Lessive. Ladies and gentlemen, this young man is the reason I can do MyBlindCo. He runs the blind shade and shutter company with a level of professionalism that I couldn't match. He's young, smart, very good at what he does, and he's going to discuss what MyBlindCo has been like for him in the last 6 years and how he uses my 5 stars. And then we're going to take questions and we'll go from there.
Yeah, thanks for the intro, Brian. That was very kind.
But it's very true.
So, yeah, I've been working for Brian with the retail business, Blind Shade and Shutter Company, for, I'll say, probably about 9 years now. Started off helping Brian with installs and slowly transitioned to the office manager job here. Have been using MyBlindCo, since its inception. So I've personally seen how it's kind of impacted our business and really simplified things and made everything a lot easier. Then, even more recently, my 5 stars and how that has made my life a lot easier. Primarily, what I'm using it for is quick communication with customers. Texting now is ubiquitous. I'd say 99% of our customers are willing to text, and it's not like you're playing a game of phone tag with everyone, and it's kind of at your convenience, where you can access everybody when they're able to. So people do appreciate that, and likewise for me. So having that communication there, really nice for me, and how it's all tied into MyBlindCo. That whole ecosystem is really, really nice. You don't have to, use your personal cell. For example, even, I have someone call in, they say they have, $100 shade, it's broken. I was like, okay, do you know what it is? They're like, no. Like, can you just send me a picture? Text me over at this number. And it's so much easier than trying to, talk to someone through something like that. So that's just kind of a quick example.
I do want you to touch on the Lori example.
Yeah, I was just actually going to get to that. Brian and I, we've had I wouldn't say a troubled customer, but more of a troubled job over the last few months. I'm sure you guys are all aware of. This is one of those ones that kind of never ends. An avalanche of this bad news and production times being delayed. And I think using my 5 stars, this particular customer, Lori, I've I was texting her pretty much every day with updates, and she was very, honest and straightforward, saying, I really appreciate you, being on top of this. And even if it's just a text saying, hey, I haven't heard anything today, just being on top of that and having that central mode of communication really does kind of, I think, stick with the customers, being, there with them. So you're not kind of leaving them out in the.
And I'm gonna frame that job real quick. It was an outdoor shade job, motorized screen shade jobs. The manufacturer shall remain nameless. But it was behind by 6 weeks, and then a promise from the manufacturer was made and it wasn't kept. And it was an outdoor screen shade job where they had the porch built and we were supposed to be putting it in so they could be using it in early July. We finished the job Monday. Steve?
Yes, on Monday, 2 days ago.
So I spoke with Lori after the fact, and she gave me a very nice critique of my office manager, who I know well. But she said, he was really on every day. He reached out to me, and he's being modest. He called her once a week and texted her a couple times a week, 3-4 times a week. And it would take him seconds. And for me, it's easy to know that it's happening because I can see what he's doing. But it's one of those things where as you build your reputation and you want to refine it, now she's going to buy 2 more of those shades, even though we had such a rigmarole with the manufacturer, because she's got 2 more windows to go. It was a $10,000 purchase that she could have easily canceled, because we were well outside of our promised date. I mean, we were a month and a half outside of our promised date. And, she was just, and we got lucky. Absolutely. We got lucky with a great customer who was very, very understanding, but we also were better than we've ever been in a bad situation where we communicated, not to the point of being annoying. With text, it's very easy not to be annoying. Just letting you know, checked with them, status hasn't changed, whatever. And it was one of those things that was just a job well done, Stephen. I want to thank you for that again. And sorry about that, Stephen. Just go ahead and wrap up your final. You got 2 minutes left, man.
I was just going to talk about that. I don't know really what to add on what you said. Just using my 5 stars to constantly communicate with her without being annoying.
And they don't know what my 5 stars is. Not everyone knows what my 5 stars is, but for anyone, we were using, what was the one we were using? Podium.
Yes. And
Podium's not integrated, so it's like a standalone thing. All of my 5 stars is a direct link to MyBlindCo. So you only have, again, my mantra throughout life is I want to put the data entry in one time and then be able to do every other operation from there. That's kind of what made it simple, because you could just look at Lori's job, click on a little rocket ship icon and send her the text. There's no, I'll find the phone number. There's no, I'll pull the folder. There's no this. It's just all in front of you. And if you're carrying an iPad out in the field, you have the same functionality as you do back in the office. So it's just one of those deals where that integration is paid off. I can tell you right now, paid off and not losing a $10,000 job that was easily lost if we didn't have that level of communication. So that's another winning example of not us, but people in general. I've learned that lesson of staying ahead of it from other folks who've told me, when it goes south, that's when you need to be the absolute best at staying ahead of a job. So, and thank you for that, Stephen. And then I guess we're going to go. If you anything else in closing statements?
Even just, I was just thinking about it, like before this meeting, I was talking with a customer and I was talking to him. I was like, hey, I got to hop on a conference call here shortly. I'll just call you back after, just a quick text like that. It lets people know you're thinking about them and you have it all right there. And, just having that communication there gives them some trust. And
it's professionalism, man. It's absolutely professionalism. And I think that comes from you, because you could still not do it if you got the tool there. But if you got the tool, it becomes remarkably easy to be the next level professional. And you can also lean in on your staff and say, hey, and I've never had to do this with Stephen, but I have had conversations with customers who are starting to use the tool and their staff still aren't doing it. Say, lean in and say, just do it once. Send a text, and they do, and then they realize how easy it is. and they get the better result over time. Okay. So that's it. Everybody, Audrey, if you want to open mics up, fire away with questions and answers. We're ready for you. Audrey's taking all the questions. Actually, Abby is. Anybody?
It's Elise again. Matt isn't able, he's not on here, but I definitely want him to, how are you sending out the recordings? Are you gonna send an email?
Yeah,
if
we
you
can.
want the recording, we'll send it to you, of course.
Yeah, he needs to watch us. And then, so with that, can you, like, all of your menu of services with pricing, can you send that over again?
Yeah, Marion, you got that, and we'll send it to everybody who wants it. If you want it, just go into the
I'm
chat.
sorry, I did miss it.
Oh, no, they're just looking for the menu of the menu of
Like
prices for
price
the
sheet.
services. So if you want that just go into the chat and say, please send it to me. The chat's down at the bottom of the screen, and we'll be happy to send it to you. And, maybe throw in your, well, we've got all your email addresses. If we don't have your email address, if you're not currently a customer, please pop your email address in, or cell
Okay.
phone, and we'll text it to you.
Brian, I have a question for you. Did you say, so right now, like for Google reviews, you're getting like 70 out of 100 requests?
7, no 0. If it was a 0, I'd be a rock star.
7 out of 100?
Yes.
Oh, shit. Okay.
That's good.
I'm
Usually,
doing better than we thought. I would, sometimes people just, sometimes it's easy to send it through the 5 stars. And so I send it once, twice, if they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it, but they've had a good experience. I'm just like, geez, I don't understand why some people just don't. So, okay, that makes me happy.
yeah, no, that's we were doing a 1, 2 out of 100. We got up to as high as 3 out of 10, but I'm not going to claim the high number. And that happens in cycles. And I bet you I'm going to be honest with you here and say, we're probably not following up on the second or third. We're not doing a second or third one in a timely enough fashion. We should probably be doing that within the week. If we send one, we should send another one. And I'm trying to automate that for us, and then I'll figure it out for you guys. If you want to, every time you send one, I think we should just kick a second one up a week later that's already automated, but I'm figuring that out.
Yeah. I have a testimonial just for anyone on here that's not doing that. We had a link before we did 5 stars that we were using. Just every time I would ask, I would have to go to my notes, copy it, put in their phone number, send it to them. And people would leave it, but they wouldn't. This is so easy to do at the very end. It sends them a text right there. We've had a lot more success getting Google reviews once we did the 5 stars. There's my testimonial for you.
Thank you. Much
You're
appreciated. And Marion or Abby, if one of you guys could take a look at my 5 stars for Blind Shade and Shutter Company and tell me if my number's off, because now I feel like I might be shooting myself in the foot. If it's higher than that, I want to know. So anyways,
I can tell you, before my 5 stars, Brian, we had 1 Google review for every year we were in business. So we've quadrupled that, so that's good.
so yeah, we've gotten, okay. So in real terms, we've gotten over 80 in a year, right?
And you said that 100 reviews is like Google's benchmark. Like that's what you should be shooting for.
You want to get there, because then you can get there's actually a certified, and we are trying to get this for ourselves right now. Google certification, certified reseller status, where you've been reviewed enough that so as soon as I get that figured out, I will send that information out to encourage all of you to keep getting your Google reviews. But yeah, as soon as I have it for the Blind Shade and Shutter Company, I will let every one of you know how I did it.
Yeah,
And so
that helps you stand out.
yeah, but so there's no time limit, like it's not over 100 reviews in a certain amount of time. It could be like, it's been 6 years or whatever. Now you got 100 reviews.
I don't know all the details. I know that we're close to getting it because we've gotten so many reviews, and I think it's cumulative. You have to get to 100 reviews.
I think it's probably cumulative because when you Google and you come up on the, the first 3 thing, like you can see how many reviews we have, my competitors, how many they have, and the other competitor, and they have like 191, but they've been in business a lot longer. I think it's cumulative. It just doesn't make any sense to me why they wouldn't put a time limit on it. I'm sure they will eventually.
Well,
but
I'm sure that they change every year or two. But more importantly is you've been in business, what, 5 years?
3.
Great. So you're going to catch up to their 191 in a year. By the end of next year, you're going to have 180 reviews. And that's a huge deal. And that's, just the sheer volume is going to be beneficial to you. And it's going to keep you getting those elevated positions on the Google Map Pack, which is what matters for me the most. Since I know it's 74% of the people are placing their orders with somebody off the Map Pack for doing business with local companies. That's where I want to spend my time and my energy. I do pay for ads. I spend $1,000 a month on ads now, but that was money I was actually just giving to some other marketing firm to do my marketing for me. That was above and beyond what it cost me to do it now. So that hasn't changed our dynamic at all, as far as I can tell.
Actually, on that note, you didn't really talk about organic placement versus the Google ad placement. And so all of the talk about Map Pack and placement has been the organic placement versus Google pay-per-click ads.
So pay-per-click is ads. The people who go to the top of the page are 26% of the time are buying from those top 3 or 4 paid advertisements that are up there that says paid or advertisement or whatever on it. And then the rest of them, the 74, are going looking for local vendors who are organically there, who are the younger the user, the younger the person searching on Google, the more frequently they are searching for a non-advertiser. They're not looking for the 3-day blinds of the world. They're not looking for the big corporates. They're looking for the local people to do business with. And when I say younger, I mean sub 40.
Hey, I have to head out. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you, Elisa. Appreciate it.
I'll send you an email. Thank you.
Thank you. Chatting with you.
Bye.
Anybody else? We can call a wrap if you guys are done. If no one's got any questions.
Yeah, Brian, hold on a second. Let's see if I can start my video. There we go. All right. So I have a quick question. I have the past couple of months, I've been working with Podium because I talked with Hunter Douglas and Podium they kind of co-op with Podium, which is kind of a platform like it looks like My 5 Stars is. This is actually the first time I've heard of My 5 Stars. But technically Podium is driven to interface with whatever software I'm using. And they have tried to interface with MyBlindCo, but it looks like they're being unsuccessful in interfacing with MyBlindCo. So
no, that's never occurred because we've never had any communication with them.
Oh, really? So my question is really, it looks like because of the interfacing with MyBlindCo, My 5 Stars may be more beneficial to us. And I'm trying to distinguish all of the features that I was reading in your advantages of My 5 Star. And it looks like you guys do add-ons with things like Instagram and with Facebook and other media platforms. You do it in 1 second. And it looks like that is where we would ultimately like to head. But I think that it's not possible for me to do so with MyBlindCo and Podium. But with My 5 Stars, you guys tailored and wrote that around MyBlindCo, correct?
We interfaced it directly. Everything we do is so you don't have to replicate your efforts. So it's like I said, one-time data entry. So yeah, we built it just for that purpose. Okay.
So when I look at all of the features that are listed below, your base feature costs a certain amount, and then there's a lot of add-ons after that. From what I only looked at it for just a minute because Pam was trying to get a hold of what the pricing list was. But it looks like the texting and the chatting is available with the base feature, correct?
Correct.
So is that texting from a phone number you choose, or do you try to use what our existing phone numbers are now?
If we can use your trunk line, your main line, your landline, we will. If we cannot, then we give you we assign you a number.
Yeah, that's my problem that I'm having with the existing service we're trying to use, is they keep assigning us a number and my customer is not familiar with any of those numbers. And whenever they actually call us back or use that phone number to communicate back with us, they're trying to communicate through that platform and it's not always convenient for us to do, So I was just trying to integrate my MyBlindCo, software, knowing that you guys have a list of all of my customers, my customer base. It's just easier if it can integrate with MyBlindCo. So we are looking seriously at my 5-star. I just have to spend a little bit more time looking at the features that you guys offer, and then what the add-ons are for each one of those things, and whether or not it is, kind of what we're shooting for with Podium.
Hey, Steven, what were we paying for Podium? Was it like $400 a month, $450?
I am not 100% sure.
Audra?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's $4.99, but when you're a Hunter Douglas dealer, then what will happen is they'll co-op and it gets it down to about the $320 range. So Hunter Douglas kicks in to help with that, but it gets you down around the $320 range. But I'm trying to compare the two systems to see what my 5-star offers and what it would cost to try and equal the same services. That's all.
Not having to re-enter that customer data into another software priceless,
Mhm.
And quite frankly, Audra, what are we at price point wise on 5-stars? It's still $250?
Yeah, 250.
Okay, so with that, I don't know. Maybe I should talk to Hunter Douglas about co-op. Good luck with that. But in real terms, the time saver is there. We used Podium and I thought it was a useful thing, but we couldn't get them to integrate or even talk about it. Now I guess they're looking. I would love whatever documentation you have on that, because I'll reach out to whomever they want, and if they want to integrate with me, I'll give them an open door, because I'd love to have as much integration as possible for people to be successful in business. That's my ultimate goal, because that builds all rising tide raises all ships. So I'm fine with that, and we can integrate with anything. So, and for any of you that are using Improve It 360, we're integrating with them now too. So,
great. All right, thank you.
All right, Joe. Nice talking to you.
All right.
All right, who else is left? Anybody have any questions? I think we're going to wrap it up.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. I hope you got some use out of it. I know yard signs and door hangers are old school, but they still pay every day.
All right, thanks.
You guys.